Blum und Voss is a German shipbuilding and engineering company which was founded in Hamburg in 1877. Being primarily a firm with naval interests, it became involved in the development of gliding torpedoes from the middle of the 1930s. Dropping torpedoes from aircraft was by that time a commonplace, but it was a rough and ready technique which simply took a standard naval torpedo and dropped it in the water from as low as a pilot dared to go. The Bloch und Voss Lufttorpedo or LT-1 began with a standard 750 kg fleet torpedo and added tail surfaces and apparatus for setting the steering and depth controls from the aircraft. It was an anti-shipping air-launched glide torpedo which was developed in several variants. The device comprised a small upper body with wings and tail clamped on top of an air-launched torpedo. In operation, it was dropped by an attacking aircraft from a safe altitude and distance, gliding down towards the target vessel, and as it approached the target, a timed fuse opened a small parachute which was attached to the glider body. It continued down and impacted the water a short distance from the target. When the torpedo met the surface of the water, the glider body automatically detached and was pulled back out of the way by the parachute, while the torpedo motor started and drove it to impact its target. Development of a better version, the L-10 Friedens Engel or Angel of Peace, began in 1942. The L-10 was designed for a propeller-powered aircraft cruising at around 300 km per hour. The main launch aircraft for the L-10 were the Heinkel 111 and the Junkers 88. The L-10 was put into production and several hundreds were built, but was eventually cancelled before it could be used operationally. A more complex version, the L-11 Schneewittchen or Snow White, was designed to be launched from an Arado Tu-34 jet bomber. The estimated launch aircraft speed was about 700 km per hour. This required a much higher airspeed than the L-10, so an additional braking parachute was deployed immediately after launch to slow it down as it approached its target. It had the same wingspan as the L-10, but it was shorter. The L-11 was also put into production but cancelled in December of 1944. It was never used operationally. Although several hundreds were manufactured from both versions, none the L-10 nor the L-11 entered service. These gliding torpedoes were designed by Dr. Richard Vogt. He was a military German aircraft designer who was known for his original airframes such as the BV-141. After World War II, Vogt was recruited by the US Air Force under Operation Paperclip, and he moved to the United States. He worked as a civilian employee for the research laboratory of the US Air Force in Dayton, Ohio, from the beginning of 1947 until 1954. Later, he became the chief designer of Aerophysics Development Corporation, where he worked until 1960.